Question 6 of the WAS 2018 Mathematics Theory question says, in a roadworthiness test on 240 cars, 60% passed. The number that failed had faults in clutch, brakes, and steering as follows. Okay, it says clutch alone 28, clutch and steering faults 14, clutch, steering and brakes faults 8, then clutch and brakes 20, and clutch and steering only 6. It further says the number of cars with faults in steering only is twice the number of cars with faults in brakes only. Now the first question says draw a Venn diagram to illustrate this information. Okay, so when you hear Venn diagram is what set. Okay, so we're referring to what set, and you can see here we're going to have a Venn diagram of 3 subsets. Okay, because we are referring to the faults in the clutch, brakes, and steering. All right, so it's a Venn diagram of what 3 subsets, which is clutch, brakes, and steering. So the first question says draw the Venn diagram to illustrate this information. And remember, our Venn diagram, we are going to draw a box. Okay, we have to manage our space, okay, on this board. All right, so let's draw this box here. Okay, and we have 3 subsets. So we have 1, we have 2, and we have what? 3. Okay, in your notebook, please make sure you draw better than I did here. Okay, make it bigger. Okay, I'm just managing the space we have here. All right, so this is the first thing you have to draw. Then we have to now start stating what has been given to us in this question. Okay, so let's draw some lines here. Let's say we have 3 lines. Okay, let's use 3 lines to answer this question. All right, okay, all right, so the first thing it says in a roadworthiness test on 240 cars, 60% passed. Okay, the number that failed had faults in clutch, brakes, and steering. So we have to know the number of cars that failed. That's our first step, to know the universal set. Okay, and to know our universal set, we are referring, this question is on the failed cars. All right, and it says that 60% passed. So what is 60% of 240? Let us check that. Cars that passed is what? 60% of what? 240. You have to state all this down. All right, this is a theory question. Don't forget that, please. Don't just give the answer cars that pass. State your workings. Okay, so it is what? 240 times what? 60 over 100. Where this 0 will cancel out this 0, this 0 will cancel out this 0. So we're left with what? 24 times 6. And what is 24 times 6? That will give us what? 144. So is this the number of cars that passed the roadworthiness test? So how many failed? It's simply what? 240 minus 144. So cars that failed, okay, follow me closely, all right, is what? 240 minus what? 144. So which will give us what? 96. Okay, so our universal set. Okay, so definitely you come here and write your universal set, which is represented by this symbol, is equal to what? 96. All right, so everything in this box must equate to what? 96, because we're referring to only cars that what? Failed. All right, so the next thing now in our question, it now says the number that failed had faults in clutch, brakes, and steering as follows. Clutch only. Okay, so only clutch. So here we have to subset. Let's say this first subset, this first circle here is what? Clutch, and this second circle here is our what? Brake, which is the fault. This is with brake fault, and the third one, which is what? Steering fault, to represent it as what? S. Okay, so this is for clutch, this is for brake, and this is for what? Steering fault. All right, so the question says clutch only is what? 28. So we have here, you're going to state it down, clutch only is what? Equal to 28. And this, the symbol of this is what represents clutch only on a Venn diagram in set is what? C intersection B prime intersection S prime. That is C intersection brakes then prime minus brakes and what minus what steering fault. So we have what clutch only, and you are going to write 28 here since it says what clutch only. So this part of the circle here represents what clutch only, and it will give us what 28. Okay, remember the question says draw a Venn diagram to illustrate this information, and drawing that Venn diagram is labeling, putting in all the values that's been given to us, okay, in our question here, and the values have been given to us, and we're also going to find others that the question didn't provide to with what the question gave to us. Okay, so the next thing it says clutch and steering. There's no only, so clutch and steering, so it's a total of clutch and what steering. So we're going to write here, we have here clutch and steering is equal to what 14, okay, which is what C intersection S, okay, represented in set. Okay, this is C intersection S, which is what 14. Okay, right now, so it means that this whole area here, C intersection S, is this O from here to here. Okay, that is C intersection S. So we can't really state it since we have the intersection of A, C, B, and S here, and this part here is C intersection S only. All right, while clutch and steering is what 14, which is the whole of this. All right. Do you follow me? Which is the whole of this, which is also an intersection of what? There's also a B in it. So in order for us to find C intersection S only, which is just this part of the diagram, which is just here, we have to subtract the intersection of C, B, and S only, okay, from intersection of what the clutch and steering. Okay, just follow me closely. Just follow me closely, don't get confused, don't worry, you see what we'll do later on. All right, so let's just take this down and write it down. I just needed to interpret this clutch and steering as what from here to here, but later on we're going to get C and S only, which is from here to here. Okay, this part of the diagram. All right, so the next interpretation says clutch, steering, and brakes is what 8. Okay, that is clutch and steering and brakes is equal to what 8. And what does this mean? This means what C intersection S intersection what B. That is this midpoint here is what 8. So we are going to write down 8. We can freely write down 8 here. Okay, so since we now know this as 8, it is now easy for us to get what C in the C intersection what S only, and to get this is just simply what 14 minus what 8 for us to get this part. I hope you understand how come about this. Okay, just follow me closely. So for you now to get this, that is what clutch and steering only okay, if you don't know much about set, you need to read up, okay, because it would always come out in your theory question. There must be one set question. Go and check several past questions, several years. You must see a set question where you draw a Venn diagram. All right, so make sure you understand that topic. Okay, right now I've not done a full topic explaining set on the DTW channel, but very soon I will publish one. All right, so make sure you read up on your sets and follow this question. If you don't still understand, make sure you drop a comment, okay, on our channel or on this video. All right, so clutch and steering only, which is this part, will be what 14 minus what 8. Since I told you that all this place is what 14, so to get only here it will be what 14 minus 8. And what is 14 minus 8? This will give us what 6. So clutch and steering only will be what 6. Okay, where 6 plus 8 is what 14, which is clutch intersection what steering. All right, okay, so we will soon complete our Venn diagram very soon. Okay, so the next interpretation again in the question says clutch and brakes is what 20. Okay, let's manage this space here. It says clutch and brakes Now in set, always take note of only, the statement only, okay? Always take note of that. When you don't see only in a particular statement, you should know that it is an intersection. But when you see only, it means it is referring to that particular only set of values, which we just did here. So this C and S is what? C intersection S what? Only, which is this 6 here. All right. So clutch and brakes is what? From our question is what? Equal to what? 20. That is what? Clutch and brakes. That is everything here is what? 20. That's what this statements. That's what this statement what means. That's everything from here is what? 20. So definitely to get clutch and brakes only, we'll just say 20 minus what? 8 to give us the value for this part of the what? Diagram. So we're going to write to get clutch and brakes only, it will be equal to what? 20 minus 8. And what is 20 minus 8? That will give us what? 12. So this, the value for this part is what? 12. Let's manage our space, okay? 12, all right? We have 12 here, all right? It's 12 here. Let me use another color. Let's say I use black. So we have 12 here, okay? All right, so we have 12 here. All right, so the next thing it says again in our question, we'll go back to our question. We've just done clutch and brakes. Now it says brakes and steering only. Okay, brakes and steering only. So this is quite easy. It has already given us the answer for this, which is what? Brakes and steering only, which is this part of what? Our diagram. So we're just still going to write it: brakes and steering only is equal to what? 6. Okay, I think here I didn't give you the interpretation of this when you want to write it in set. Clutch and steering only is what? It's C intersection. Let me use a different color. Okay, it's C intersection S intersection B prime. Okay, this is what? Clutch and what? Steering only. And here we have clutch and brakes. Okay, clutch and brakes, the when you want to write it in set, it's just simply what? C intersection what? B. Okay, and here clutch and brakes only is what? C intersection B intersection what? S prime. All right, that's minus what? Steering. All right, and here brakes and steering only, what is it? How is it written in a set form? It is what? Brakes intersection S intersection clutch what? Prime. That's the minus what? Clutch. Okay, so this is how you write it. Make sure you write down also, okay, in your exam, please make sure you write this down so the examiner, the marker, will know you understand what you're doing. All right, okay, so okay, we have this. So this is brakes and steering only is 6. So we write down 6 here. Okay, so we have 6 here. Then the next thing it says the number of cars with faults in steering only. Steering only. Okay, in faults with steering only is twice the number of cars with faults in brakes only. So we have brakes only. It's twice the number of cars what? In brakes only. So let's say brakes only is what? X. So steering only will be what? 2x. That's what this question says. That's what we can interpret from this statement, I mean. So it says the number of cars with faults in steering only is twice the number of cars with faults in brakes only. So let's say brakes only is what? X. So steering only will be what? 2x. And where is this represented on our Venn diagram? Brakes only is this part of the diagram, which is will give us what? X. Okay, and steering only is this part, okay, this part, which will be what? 2x. All right, okay, so that's the interpretation. And if you want to write this instead, steering only is what? S intersection B prime intersection what? C prime. And brakes only is what? Brakes intersect, that's B intersection what? S prime intersection what? C prime. That is what? Brakes only. So here, Okay, so it says draw the Venn diagram to illustrate the information. So this is our final Venn diagram. All right, so this is the answer to question what A. Okay, that's our drawing our Venn diagram to interpret everything that was given to us in this question. All right, so this is our final Venn diagram. Now B says how many cars had I? It said I says how many cars had what faulty brakes. So we're going to look for the total number of cars that have what faulty brakes. But before we do that, we must get the value of x. Is that not it? Since we have x here, and to get the value of x, as I said, it will be the what summation of everything in the box here equating to what our universal set, which is what 96. So we're going to sum all these values in the Venn diagram and equate to what 96. So what do we have here? We have here 28 plus 12 plus x plus 8 here plus there's a 6 here plus 6 plus then 2x, okay, equal to what 96. Let's manage this space here, okay, equal to 96. All right, so here let's simplify this. So we have a x plus 2x will give us what 3x. Is that not it? And if we add all the other numbers, we have 28 plus this will give us a 40, and we have here this 8 plus this is 14 plus 40 will give us 54 plus 6 will give us what 60. So we have plus what 60 equal to what 96. So from here we can take 60 to the other side. We are left with what 3x is equal to 96 minus what 60. And what is 96 minus 60? That will give us what 36. We divide both sides by 3. Is that not it? Divide both sides by 3 to get x. 3 will cancel 3, and how many times will 3 go in 36? It will go what 12 times. So x is equal to what 12. So we've gotten our value of x as 12. So from here we can simply find what steering only, the number of steering faults only, which is what, since we've gotten our value of x as 12, this will be what 2 times what x. And what is 2 times x? 2 times 12, that's 2 times 12. And what's 2 times 12? That will give us what 24. So the number of steering faults only is what 24. And here x is equal to what 12. So the number of brake faults is what 12. All right, so the number of what brake faults only is what 12. So the question says find how many cars had faulty brakes. Okay, so the total number of cars that have faulty brakes. Okay, don't misinterpret this. This question didn't say how many cars had faulty brakes only. If it was brakes only, our answer would just be what 12. But the question said faulty what brakes. That's why I said in sets, and especially in Venn diagram, that word only is quite key, very important. All right, so don't misplace it. All right, so when it says only, it's specific to just that brake. But now it said how many had what faulty brakes. So it will include the ones that also had both faulty and clutch brake. It will include the ones that also had faulty clutch brakes, had faults in clutch brakes and steering, which is 8. It will also include the one that has what fault in also brakes and what steering, that included steering. So the number of cars that had faulty brakes would be this whole circle here, okay, with the brakes circle. Okay, so we are going to add up everything in our brake what circle, which is what, which we have here 12. We have 12 plus what 12 plus 8 plus what 6. Okay, we're supposed to state here, we're supposed to state something like faulty brakes. Okay, you know your theory question, don't forget, write everything down so the examiner understands what you're doing. All right, don't just assume he's going to understand, write it down for him. All right, so when you add up all these things, we have 12 plus 12, that's 24. 24 plus 8, that will give us what 32, and 32 plus 6 will give us what 38. So the number of cars that had faulty brakes is what 38. Now the question now says, the next question says how many cars had only one fault. Are you seeing that? How many cars had only, you can see the word only, one fault. So this answer will be the number of cars that had only clutch, only brake, and only was steering. So we're going to have here 28 plus 12 plus what 24. That will be our answer for the number of cars that had only one fault. So you're going to state it here. know of cars with only one fault. Okay, so it will be equal to clutch only plus brake only plus steering only. Okay, and this will give us what? What is clutch only? Clutch only is what? 28 from our statement here. Okay, so clutch only is 28 plus brake only, which we've gotten as what? 12 plus steering only, which is what? 24. And when you add us it, if you add up all this, we're going to have what? 64. So this is our answer for the number of cars that had only one fault. So our answer is what? 64. All right, so this is the end of this question. Make sure you don't confuse only. All right, this is quite important when treating what's set. Question 7A of the WASSCE 2018 mathematics theory question, it says, okay, so we have two questions here. We have 7A and what? 7B. So 7A says find the equation of the line passing through the point this and this. So we have 2 points here. Okay, and equation of the line when we have 2 points, okay, where C is equal to what? 0. We have y is equal to what? mx plus what? c. All right, so since c is equal to 0, we have y is equal to what? mx. And from here, remember, to get the gradient or slope of a line is what? M is equal to what? y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus what? x1, since we have 2 points here. So from here, we have what? Y minus what? y1 equal to, bringing the value of m into this equation here, we have y2 minus what? y1 over x2 minus what? x1, and we have here x minus x1. All right, so all we need to do is now put in the value of what? y2 and y1, so we can get the equation of the line. All right, so here we have 2, 5. This is the first point, and we have minus 4, minus 7. Okay, so this is what? x1, y1, and this is x2, y2. So let's put in the value into this equation. So here, what do we have here? We have y minus, what is y1? y1 is what? 5, equal to y2 is what? Minus 7 minus what's y1, which is what? 5, divided by what's x2? x2 is what? Minus 4. And what is x1? x1 is what? Minus what? 2, which is what? 2. Okay, so we have minus 2. Okay, bracket x minus what is x1? x1 is what? x1 is what? 2. All right, so from here, let's simplify this. We have here y minus 5 minus 7 minus 5 will give us what? Minus what? 12. And minus 4 minus 2 will give us minus 6. So we have bracket what? X minus what? 2. From here, 6 can cancel out 12. Okay, 6 and 12 is what? 2. And the negative can also cancel out the negative. So 6 and 12, we have what? 2. All right, so here we are left with what? We are left with what? Y minus 5 equal to what? 2 bracket x minus 2. So let us open our brackets. We have here 2x minus what? 4. Is that not it? And we have y minus 5. So let's take, we have to still simplify it. We're looking for the equation of the line, so y will stay on this side of the equation. So let's take minus 5 to this other side. We have what? Y is equal to 2x minus 4 plus 5. And this will give us what? 2x, to give us y, equal to 2x minus 4 plus 5 will give us what? Plus 1. So this is the equation of the line. So this is our answer. All right. Question 7B of the WASSCE 2018 mathematics theory question, which is what? 7B. Okay, it says 3 ships P, Q, and R are at sea. The bearing of Q from P is what? 30 degrees. Okay, bearing. Okay, you must take note of bearing. You will always have a question for bearing. There are always topics that you must find in your theory question, and bearing is one of them. So you must be grounded in bearing. All right, so let us interpret this together. Follow me closely. Okay, I'm going to teach you some tips here. So it says the bearing of Q from P. All right, so let's say is what? 30 degrees. All right, before you start drawing, okay, try to understand your points, your cardinal points. Okay, so here you have this is your north, this is your south, and this is the west, and this is what your east. All right, I hope if you follow me closely. All right, so from here, in drawing your angles, you start from here and go, you start in what, a clockwise direction. All right, not anti-clockwise. Are you getting me? You start in a clockwise direction to count. So from here to here is 90, from here to here is 180, from here to here is 270, then to 360. Okay, so these are the key things you need to know. And when the question says the bearing of Q from P, okay, the bearing of Q from P, so you have to take the bearing from P is what, 30 what degrees. So since it says 30 degrees, so 30 degrees fall in this particular point. So 30 degrees falls in this first quadrant. All right, that's where 30 degrees falls, since we're taking the clockwise direction. So 30 degrees falls here. So it means that P should be what, beneath what, Q. Are you getting me? Before you start drawing, and before you start answering your question, try to simulate the diagram first of all on a sheet of paper, maybe your rough sheet of paper where you do your rough workings. Try to simulate the diagram before you come to answer it, okay? So you don't cancel and cancel and cancel. All right, so simulate, interpret it with rough pen. When you get it, then come and draw it properly on your answer question. All right, so it says the bearing of Q from P is what, 30 degrees. So let's say this is P, okay? The bearing of Q from P is what, 30 degrees. So it will be, Q will be from the bearing will be taken from somewhere here down to Q. So let us draw. So we have here P, okay, and the bearing 30 degree, so to what, Q. So here is what, 30 what degree. Since the question says the bearing of Q from P is what, 30 degrees. All right, so it means this side alternate angles what is what, this is also what, 30 degrees. Okay, so let's leave this. So this is what, Q. The next thing it says, and the bearing of P. Now what is the bearing of this P from R is what, 300. Okay, so 300 will be somewhere here, right? This is 90, this is 180, this is 270, so 300 will be somewhere here. Okay, 270 plus 30 will give us 300. So from here to here will be what, 300. All right, so it means that R, since it says the bearing of P from R, so it means R will be somewhere here on our right hand side. Okay, that it's going to be somewhere here in the east of what, P. Okay, so let's put our R here. Okay, so we have from here to here is 90, this is 180, this is 270. So we have 270 plus 30 will give us what, 300. So from here to here, let's draw a straight line. Okay, so this is the bearing of what, P from R, okay, which is what, 300. All right, so this is what, R. So if this is if this side is, this is 30 degrees, so it means here is also what, 30 degrees. That not it, alternate what, angles. If this is 30 degree, okay, since this is from here to here is what, 270, and 270 plus 30 will give us what, 300. All right, so here is what, 30 what degree. Okay, so if this is 30 degrees, it makes this particular small angle in here to be what, 30 degrees. And in resolving this angle, if this is 30 degrees, then it means that from here to here is what, 60 what degrees. That not it, since we have a right angle here, this is 90, if this is 30, this will be what, 60 what degree. Okay, and we can see from here we have 60 plus 30, which is what, 90. So it means this angle right here is what, a right angle what, triangle. All right, so but okay, the question says, so it says if PQ is 5 kilometer and QR is what, that's QR is what, 8 kilometer. That's why this length is longer. okay, than this length. Okay, so you must, that's why I said you must first of all do this on a rough sheet before you come to your question paper. All right, so the question says illustrate the information in a diagram. So this is our diagram. Then the next thing it says calculate to three significant figures the distance between Q and R. And what is the distance between Q and R? It's from here to here. Okay, that's the distance between what Q and R. So we're looking for this side. Okay, this side is unknown. All right, and the second question says here the bearing of R from Q. That's the bearing of R from Q. So we have to look for that angle, the bearing of R from Q. But first of all, let's find the distance between what Q and R. So this is your final illustration of your information in a diagram. All right, so this is your first mark, which is quite important. Okay, so sketch on a rough sheet before you come to your question paper to sketch. Okay, and use your ruler and your pencil. All right, and state also the angles that you found out. So you put here, this is what 90 degrees. That's what it means. You can also write it down like this, 90 degrees. So this is a right angle triangle. So if it's a right angle triangle, it is easy for us to get this side. Okay, because you know a right angle triangle, all we need to just apply is not what Pythagoras theorem. We just applied Pythagoras theorem. So we can just state using Pythagoras theorem. Okay, which is what hypotenuse square is equal to opposite square plus adjacent square. From here, we're looking for the hypotenuse. Is that not it? Since it's just facing the right angle triangle. If it is a right angle triangle, this is your hypotenuse, this is your opposite, and this is your adjacent. So we've been given our opposite and adjacent here. So all we need to do is just say 5 square plus what? 8 square. And what is 5 square? That will give us what? 25. Plus what? 64, and this will give us what? 89. So this is hypotenuse square. So definitely to get our hypotenuse, it will be what? The square root of what? 89. And what's the square root of 89? We have what? 9.43398 when we punch in our calculator. Okay, and the question says calculate correct to 3 significant figures. So we're going to count. We have 1, 2, 3. Now the value that follows 3, is it greater than 5 or equal to 5? It is not, so we can't approximate 1 to 3 to add up. Okay, so we have our final answer will be what? 9.43. okay, to 3 significant figures. All right, so this is our distance, which is what? 9.43. All right, so we've gotten our distance Q and R. So the next question says, that's II. It says we should calculate the bearing of R from Q. The bearing of R from Q. Okay, and the bearing of R from Q is this angle from here to here. So we have to look for this what angle here. The bearing of R from Q is from here to here. Okay, so we know that from here to here is 90. So we don't know this angle here. And to know this angle here, we need to know the angle from here to here. That's this whole angle. Okay, and we already know this part as what? 30 degrees. So we need to find this angle here. All right, since alternate angles are what? Equal. So since this angle will be equal to this whole angle here, so we have to find this angle here, add up to this, and this will give us the angle here, which will now add up to what? 90, to get the bearing of R from Q. Okay, so follow me closely. So to get this angle here, we have, let's say the angle is what? X. Okay, so from here it's quite easy. Since this is a right angle triangle, you can just apply SOHCAHTOA. Okay, and to get this angle here, you can either do opposite over adjacent, which is what? Tan. Okay, or you can do opposite over hypotenuse. Any one you do, you still get the same thing. Okay, since we have all sides. All right, so I think we should just use the easiest one. That is what? Tan, which is what? Opposite over what? Adjacent. So we write here tan x is equal to what? Opposite over adjacent, which is what? What's our opposite? Our opposite is 5 over adjacent is what? 8. So we have tan x is equal to what? What is 5 divided by 8? Will give us what? 0.625. 5. So x will be equal to the tan inverse of 0.625, and this will give us what? 32.005 degree. Okay, so x is equal to 32.005 degree. So definitely to get this whole angle, okay, we add up 30 plus x. So 30 plus x will be equal to what? That is 30 plus 32.005. So this is going to give us what? 62.005 degree. So since we've gotten this at 62.005 degree, all here now is what? 62.005. So it means that here is what? 62.005. You can always, please, when you get these answers, write it in your question, in your diagram, okay? Write interpretation 2 in your diagram, all right? This is also an additional mark, all right? So you have here 62.005. So all you need to do now to get the bearing of arrow from Q will be from this point to this point, which will be what? 90 plus 62.005. So you state bearing of arrow from Q is equal to what? 90 plus 62.005. So you are going to have 152.005. And to 3 significant figure, we have 1, 2, 3. The next digit here is 0. Can you approximate? No. So we have our final answer as 152 degrees to 3 significant figures. So this is our final answer. Make sure you draw your diagrams well and label them well. Question 8A of the WAS 2018 Mathematics Theory question, okay, it says Lamin bought a book for 300 naira and sold it to Bola at a profit of X%. Bola then sold the same book to James at a profit of X%. If James paid this more for the book than what Lamin paid, okay, that's the first person who bought the book, find the value of X. Okay, this is quite tricky, but it's just simple understanding you need. Okay, so let's try to solve this. Let me draw some lines here because this is a long, very long question. Okay, all right. Okay, so the first thing now you can see this is a profit and cost. Okay, that's percentage profit. Now in this question there's no loss here, so we're referring to what? Percentage profit. I remember the formula for finding your percentage profit. Okay, it's always good to state your formulas. Okay, formula for finding your percentage profit is equal to what? Your selling price minus your cost price divided by the cost price times 100. Okay, 100%. Okay, since we're referring to percentage profit. Okay, this is not lost. All right. So from here, Lamin bought the book for 300 naira. So cost of book to Lamin. Write it down. Cost of book to Lamin is what? 300 naira. Okay, so and sold it to Bola at a profit of X%. So we're not told the percentage profits. Okay, so we need to look for what? This percentage profit. So you say Lamin percent. Can I abbreviate this? Okay, let's not abbreviate. All right, let me, you have to write it in full, so let me also write in full with you. Okay, so percentage profit is equal to what? X%. That's what the question says. Sold it at a profit of X%. So putting all these values here, let us try to get our selling price. All right, since Lamin, this is the cost price that Lamin bought the book for at this profit, at this percent profit. Let us look for our what? Selling price. So what is Lamin's selling price? So let's put in our values. Our percentage profit, we were told, is what? X%. Follow me closely, okay? Is equal to our selling price for Lamin. Let's put this in bracket, Lamin as L, because we have 3 people here, okay? So we're going to represent Lamin as L, Bola as B, and James as what? J. Okay, that's for in this question. All right. Okay. So you can also please also state it so the marker knows what you're doing. You just say Lamin, it's just declaring your variables. All right, you say Lamin is equal to L, Bola is equal to B, James is equal to J. Okay, so they understand when you do this. So you have the selling price for Lamin, okay, then minus cost price, which is 300, divided by 300 times what? 100. Okay, so from here, this 0 can cancel out this 0. Is that not it? So we have 3, we can cross multiply. So 3 times this will give us what? 3x is equal to what? Selling price of Lamin minus what? 300. Where our selling price is just simply carrying 300 to this side, we have a positive. So we have our selling price of Lamin will be equal to what? 3x plus 300. Okay, so this is what Lamin's what? Selling price. Okay, so now the question further goes. It says Bola then sold the same book to James at a profit of what? X percent. So if this is the selling price of Lamin, it means that he sold this book to Bola. So it means Bola bought this book at this cost. Are you following me? Follow me closely. Lamin sold this to what? Bola, which we did at a profit of X percent, which we've put into our equation. So this is the selling price of what? Lamin to Bola. So it means Bola bought this book at what? 3x plus what? 300. And then sold the same book to James at a profit of what? X percent. So we now have to look for the selling price of what? Bola. Okay, since Bola bought the book at what? 3x plus what? 300. So we are going to write here, so therefore 3x plus 300, you have to state all these things please, is equal to cost price of Bola. Okay, so we have to look for what, and we've been told that Bola sold the same book to James at a profit of X percent also. So the percentage, Bola's percentage profit, is what? X percent. Okay, so let us now look for Bola's selling price. Okay, so Bola's selling price, now we put values into this our formula. So what do we have here? The percentage profit will be what? X percent equal to our selling price. That's what we are looking for. So selling price of Bola is what we are looking for. Okay, and cost price, we've known Bola's cost price to be what? 3x plus what? 300. So we'll say minus 3x plus 300 divided by the cost price is see what? 3x plus what? 300, then times 100. Okay, so from here what do? We cross multiply. Is that not it? We cross multiply what? 3x plus 300 to this other side. So we are left with what? We have here x bracket what? 3x plus 300 equal to the selling price of Bola. Okay, the selling price of Bola, then let me erase this line here so we can, okay, so we can have space here. Okay, so the selling price of Bola then minus what? 3x plus 300. So this will be everything multiplied by what? 100 times 100. And don't forget, we have a bracket in here. Okay, so this is selling price minus cost price. So we have to do this bracket so we don't forget multiplying, using this sign to multiply everything that is in here. Okay, and in using this sign to multiply every sign that is in here, we are going to, let us open our brackets now. In open our brackets, we have what? X plus x times 3x, we have what? 3x squared plus x times 300, we have what? 300x equal to, okay, what do we have here? If we open this bracket, this sign will multiply this as negative, and this positive sign here will change to what? A negative. Okay, so let's now use 100 to multiply everything in here. Okay, just so in multiplying 100 in multiplying everything in this bracket by 100, what do we have? We have 100 times this will give us what? 100 what? S, that's the selling price of Bola. Okay, that's 100 SP Bola. Okay, minus 100 times minus 3x will give us what? 300x, and 100 times what? 300. That's, we know this is this minus sign multiply this plus to give us a negative, so we have a negative here. So 100 times 300 will give us what? 30,000. all right, okay, so we're left with this. All right, so let's say we're looking for the selling price of Bola. Let's take everything else to this other side of the equation, then we'll divide everything by 100 so that we can know the selling price of what. All right, so we have here 3x square then plus 300x. Taking minus 300 to this side, we have what? Plus what? 300x. Then taking minus 30,000 here, we have what? Plus 30,000 equal to what? 100. That's the selling price of Bola. Okay, so here we have 3x square plus 300x plus 300x will give us what? 600 what? X plus 30,000. Okay, equal to what? 100 SPB. Okay, so to get the selling price of Bola, we divide both sides by what? 100. All right, divide everything here by 100. all right, so this 100 will cancel out this 100. So the selling price of Bola is what? This. Okay, so you can restate it, but let me try to manage the space here so we can finish this question on this page. Okay, so stay with me closely. So this is the selling price of Bola. So definitely, as this is the selling price of Bola, the next person, this is so say Bola then sold the same book to James at a profit of what? X%. So since we've gotten the selling price of Bola as this equation here, this is the what? Cost price of what? James. This is how much James bought the book. So this is the cost price of James, which is this. And the question now says, if James paid this more for the book than what Lamin paid. So we'll just state here now, since this is the selling price of Bola, so this is the cost price of what? James. So we state here that cost price of James is equal to what? 3x squared plus 600x plus 30,000 divided by 100. Okay, so the question now says, if James paid this, okay, this value, this amount more for the book than what Lamin paid. What did Lamin pay? Lamin paid what? Lamin paid what? 300. So if James paid this plus 300, now find the value of X. So we have another cost price of James, which we are now going to equate to this. So another cost price of James, which the question told us is what? 6x plus 3/4 plus 300. Because it says, if James paid this more for the book than what Lamin paid, and what Lamin paid is what? 300. So 300 plus this, okay, is what? James payment. All right, and since we already have the cost price of James from this calculation, so all we need to do now to get our value of X so that X can cancel out, we equate these two cost prices of what? James. So here we have to equate these two equations. Okay, so in equating them, what do we have? We have here 3x squared plus 600x plus 30,000 divided by 100 equal to what? 6x plus 3/4 plus 300. all right, so to simplify this further, all we just need to do is just state multiply both sides by what? 100. So we're going to multiply this whole equation here by 100 and this whole equation by 100. all right, so we're going to do this times 100 times 100. All right, in your book please write it properly. All right, so all we need to do here, so this 100 will cancel out this 100. This is just to cancel out everything in the denominator. All right, so we are left here with what, 3x square plus what, 600x plus 30,000. And when we open multiply everything here by 100 times 6x, we are going to have what, 600x. And 100, we have 3 over 4 times 100. What will this give us? Let's put it here, 3 over 4 times 100. Okay, 4 can go in 100 how many times? 25 times. Is that not it? And 25 times 3 will give us what? 75. So 100 times 3 over 4 will be what? Plus what? 75. Then plus 100 times 300 will give us what? 30,000. Okay, all right, so from here we can simply simplify this, take all values of x to one side and take keep the other values, our integers, on one side of the equation. Is that not it? So what do? We have here 3x squared plus 600x. Then 600x coming to this side, we're going to have a minus what, 600x, equal to 30,000 coming to this side. We have 75 plus 30,000. Then this is a plus, 30,000 coming here will give us what, a minus what, 30,000. From here 30,000 will cancel out 30,000, and here 600x minus 600x will cancel out. Is that not it? That is it's a negative, so it will give us 0. Okay, and this will also give us 0. So what are we left with? We're left with what, 3x squared, and we're left with what, 75. So we have here 3x squared equal to what, 75. So from here we can divide both sides by 3. In dividing both sides by 3, what do we have? 3 in 75 will give us what, 25. This is x squared here. And to get our x, this is x squared. And to get our x is simply what, the square root of 25. So x is equal to the square root of what, 25. And what is the square root of 25 is what, 5. So our answer, the value of x is equal to what, 5. Alright, so this is our final answer. Okay, all you need to do in solving this, just be careful with your signs, your bracket. You can see, I think I missed putting the bracket here. Make sure you are careful with all those things. So because if this was still a positive, it will give you an issue down here to give you a different answer. You might not get 5. You won't get 5 as the answer. So make sure you don't make these mistakes, okay, with your brackets and your signs. When you're opening bracket with a sign, it affects every sign in the bracket. Okay, so make sure you don't make that mistake. Alright, so the answer for question 8A of the WASSCE 2018 Mathematics Theory question is what? 5. Question 8B of the WASSCE 2018 Mathematics Theory question says, find the range of values of x which satisfies the inequality this. So we have 3x minus 2 less than 10 plus x less than 2 plus 5x. Okay, so from here we simplify first this and this, then this and this. Okay, so in doing the first one, we have 3x minus 2 less than 10 plus x. Here, what do? Take x to this side and bring the integers to this other side. So we have 3x. Taking plus x to this here we have minus what, x. And remember, in inequality, the only time your sign can change is if you are dividing by a negative what, integer. Okay, remember that. All right, it is not when you move a value here that the greater or equal to sign changes. Okay, don't forget that. All right, okay, so taking plus x here, we have minus x, so we still have a less than 10, and taking minus 2 to this side, we have what, a plus 2. So we have here 3x minus x, we have 2x less than, and 10 plus 2 is what, 12. So divide both sides by 2. So instead of dividing by positive, the sign, the less than sign will still remain the same. Okay, so divided by 2. Cancel out here, 1 1, and 2 in 12 will give us how many times? 6 times. So we have x is less than 6. Okay, so in solving this other part, we have 10 plus x less than 5 plus less than 2 plus 5x. So here taking let's do this in a simple way. Let's take x here so we don't play around with negative. Okay, so take x here and bring 2 here. So we have 10. Bringing 2 to this side, we have what, minus 2 less than, taking plus x to this side, we have 5x minus what, x. Okay, so and what is 10 minus 2? 10 minus 2 will give us what, 8. and 8 is less than x minus 5x minus x will give us what? 4x. And all we need to do is divide both sides by 4. Okay, divide by 4. All right, 4 here, 1, so we're left with x here, and 4 in 8 is how many times 2? So we have what? 2 less than x. So from here the question says find the range of values of x which satisfy the inequality this. So the range of values of x that will satisfy this inequality will be 2 is what? Less than x, which x is what? Less than 6. So x is what? Less than 6. So this is the range of values, you have to state it, of x. Okay, so it is what? X less than 2, and x, sorry, it is what? X greater than 2 less than what? 6. So the values of 2 from 2 to the values between 2 and 6. So this is our answer.